Linda Horton, and this is the Helpful Homeschooler. Today, I have a guest that I am talking to, and this guest is very special to me. He was a student when I taught school, and his name is? Joelle. And Joelle, I'm gonna move this. We're on really tall chairs today, so if I do this, it's because I can't reach the floor. And we've already determined I'm short. So, Joelle, you were in second grade.
Yep.
And you had gone kindergarten, first grade, second grade. And you switched from second grade to homeschooling.
Yeah.
Why, can you tell the audience why your family made the change from school to homeschooling?
A lot of freedom, a lot of flexibility, and a lot of do it at your own pace.
Okay, all right. Now, when you were in school, you had some difficulties.
Yes.
And Joelle sees them as a lot harder than they were, but we have to understand that kids see things at how they see them from their point of view. So for Joelle, it was a difficult time. And I remember some of the things that Joelle did was Joelle had what we had labeled OCD. That's what your parents had said, you were just some OCD symptoms.
ADHD, a little bit of ADHD.
And a little bit of ADHD. And so it was hard for you to focus in class.
Yes, it was.
Because of all the noise, because of...
distraction.
Okay.
The kids around me.
Right. And now I remember I put you in the front row. I put you near me.
Yeah.
And you still had difficulties.
Yeah. It was mostly around the buddies of mine.
Okay, because it was easy, second grade, it's easy to get distracted.
Yeah.
And so there was a lot of things in the classroom that you would miss. I remember that I would give directions, and then I would look down, and you'd be looking at me. I'm like, Joelle, I'm right here. I know you heard me. But if you were distracted, you didn't hear them.
And daydreaming, yeah.
Daydreaming. Yeah, he loved Spider-Man. Do you still love Spider-Man?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, loved Spider-Man. Joelle is an artist. Now, I don't know if you still do artwork.
No,
oh my gosh.
I do more computer work now. Computer.
Okay, but you were a very talented artist at second grade. Oh my gosh, I still have somewhere a couple of Spider-Mans from you. And they were just really good. So you switched from the school setting to homeschooling.
Yeah.
And your mom and I had that discussion, and I had homeschooled my children and thought it would be a really good fit for you. And it was a good fit for you.
It was the greatest investment mom's ever made.
Okay. And talk a little about that. It's an investment for the mom.
Mom really got me all the way from third grade all the way to high school.
Okay.
Got my diploma in 2015.
Okay.
She made it really fun. She was very inexperienced at the time. If it was like she didn't understand it, she'd research it. She always was a researcher. She always researched her work before doing it, and then she'd implement it into her studies with me.
Okay. Did you ever feel like because she was inexperienced, it was somehow it was worse for you, or did you? It was okay. You didn't mind that she didn't know everything.
No.
Okay, because some of the people that are going to hear this are going to say, but I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. I'm not sure. But it was okay.
At first, she went like a teacher, like an actual teacher in school. I'd call her Miss Leon. I'd do the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I'd, what else? I had to do certain things that I would do actually in school, and we didn't get to the homeschool part yet. She was very rigid and very strict, but she was trying really hard, and I could see it. And she's an awesome mother and a teacher, and she was having trouble. You could see her struggling. But, over time, she learned from different friends of hers, including you, and then when she went to support groups, she learned what there was in support groups, co-ops. It's not all antisocial environment. You can meet other people there and make friends with other kids.
Right. I appreciate that. I did the same thing with my kids, actually. We started out at little desks, and we didn't say the Pledge of Allegiance, but we had a little desk and they had this and had that. And I think homeschooling moms will tell you that there is a time when you're like, this is not a classroom. Let's breathe. Let's have some freedom. And that freedom really helped you because you did have disabilities.
Yeah.
We call them disabilities. You had...
Individuals with disabilities is the term I use.
Okay. All right. And so tell our listeners what your struggles were, what you struggled with.
My struggles was keeping up with the time frame that I had with work. And do I look straight at them?
You can look straight at them, you can look at me, whatever, how you want to do it.
The whole thing is, it was time consuming. If I didn't finish something on time, it would catch up with me and it would build up and just oodles and oodles of paper. As you remember,
Right.
my desk got filled with schoolwork at your school and in your classroom. Eventually, Mom learned to give me less, but in the process, give me more. If that makes any sense. She gave me a lot more in one sitting, but she gave me less papers to deal with.
You had a trouble with organization.
Yeah.
That was a big deal,
Mhm.
was keeping things organized.
I still struggle with that sometimes.
And that's okay, because what you've done is you've learned how to manage it for you. And I think that's the thing, as homeschool parents, we try to think like it's like a group think. This is how homeschooling is, but that's not how your mom ended up doing it. She ended up finding what was right for you, and doing what worked for you.
She eventually went to thrift stores and these mom and pop homeschool places like they called one Archer. They had another one called. We did different implements. People owned the business from parents, etc. Archer and all that, and they all owned little mom and pop businesses. There was one called Teacher's Pet that was around back in the time, and we'd go there and we picked up these pretty cool gadgets that were for homeschooling, and was called Geo Safari. We called it, and they put all these pictures here for geography, and I'd have to, and it was really fun. It made noise, it talked, it did things, and I learned a lot in geography. My favorite subjects in school were history, science, and geography.
Okay.
Those were my main 3 subjects.
Okay. So, and you were good at those. I remember that. Now, they came later on to diagnose you with what?
Tourettes Syndrome.
Tourettes Syndrome. And for those who don't know what Tourettes Syndrome is, what is it?
It's a neurological disorder and chemical balance in the brain that makes me say things involuntary or do things involuntary that I can't help control. It's like extra cells in your head and things that are going on in your head that shouldn't be there. Like there's extra stuff going on in there. And it's all involuntary. It's a lot of people think that Tourette's Syndrome is just the cursing type, the stereotypic Tourette's Syndrome. When you hear Tourette's, you hear, oh, he curses uncontrollably. No, that is not actually the right assumption. It's actually 10% of the kids in the US and all around the world have that type of symptom. Mine, though, happens to have the equal opportunity of the chorobilalia.
Okay.
And it has the ticking, the swearing, the head jerking, everything in an episode. Because you don't see me, they call it ticking.
Right.
That shows the symptoms. You don't see me ticking as much because mine come out usually in episodes, but sometimes you'll notice little facial gestures that you'll notice on the spot if you really know me well, which my mom and my friends and everybody know, so they know I'm ticking at some points. But it's not noticeable. It's usually just comes and then it goes, and sometimes you can feel it coming, and sometimes you don't.
When you were in school, you had those same facial tics, those things, and so really, and I don't want to put words in your mouth because I want you to say, I feel like you had Tourette's. You were dealing with Tourette's then, but nobody knew it.
No, I got diagnosed at 10 years old.
Okay, all right. So in 2nd grade, do they feel like that was some of what was the problem? Was that
a lot of OCD and erasing and things
yes,
like that.
yes, and the struggles that you had didn't go away because you homeschooled.
No,
but homeschooling took the stress off of you. And would you recommend homeschooling to somebody that was dealing with those situations? Would you recommend that they homeschool?
I would. It was a great experience for me. I learned a lot more. I'm more cultured and educated now than I was when I was in grade school. No offense to anybody that has grade school, but for somebody with Tourettes Syndrome, autism, Down syndrome, any of those, they can still make friends during co-op times, during support group time, but when they're in school and at home, they can just be themselves. I did school in my pajamas.
See?
I ate food while I was doing my school. We didn't just do the whole fundamentals of school. We did it like, we had computer games on the computer that I would do. We'd have Jumpstart, and at the time I was in 3rd grade, so we did Jumpstart 3rd grade, and we did Clue Finders and Pajama Sam, all those point and click games which had implemented geography and mathematics and things like that, and I learned a lot from it. We also did a lot of educational videos. We did multiplication rap and things like that.
Loved it, yes.
It was all great, bigger plan for what
For
God
you.
has in store for me.
Right. And I think that's the thing that we have to understand for homeschoolers, whether you have any struggles or whether you're just, your kid is quote unquote just a regular kid from class, God has a plan and an individual plan for everyone. And homeschooling is a great way to fit that plan into what's going on in your life.
Amen.
And that was such, I know from talking to your mother, she struggled a little bit at the very beginning, like you said, in homeschooling. But once you guys decided this is what works for Joelle, then that's how you did it, because it worked for you. And a lot of times as homeschoolers, moms have these kids that are struggling.
We'd have breaks too.
See, and it didn't have to be, oh, you're gonna go for 3 hours and then you're gonna take a break.
No.
You were like, oh, I need a break. Mom said, take a break.
Yeah, and then when it was time, I say, Mom, let's get back to school.
And
Could do school at night. Could do
see,
school
on the
wherever you're at.
weekends, you could take it with you.
Even go. My mom used to go shopping in the mall a lot, so I would sit in not cafeteria. I sit in the food court in the mall, and I just do my homeschool. And then when I'm done, I report back to Mom, and then she let me go hang out around the mall.
See, and so now I think you said earlier to me, and I'm not sure. Did they diagnose you with some autism as well?
Yeah, that came implemented with the Tourette's a little later, maybe before. And mostly was ADHD at the time.
Okay. Okay.
And now we wonder if it's still ADHD or if it was never there. But it could, but that label was dropped for me years ago.
But don't you find it's a label?
In a way, I wouldn't like to drop that label for some reason.
Which one?
ADHD.
Okay, tell me why.
Just because you have the disabilities and they kind of drag you down sometimes, kind of taking away those disabilities is like taking a part of you away.
Okay.
Taking your identity away, taking away what you have, what kind of gifts you have that have given you that ability to do whatever you can do. If you take Tourette's away, if you take autism away, if you take ADHD away, and OCD, all that good stuff, you're just an average person again, and you have no labels. But the labels are not what define you. It's the gifts that have come with that disability that have made you the man or woman you are today.
Amen. Well said. Because we all have struggles, but the struggles don't define us. They refine us.
I never want to lose my labels.
Okay. All right. So you're not offended if somebody says, so you have autism?
No, I try to educate them.
Okay.
And
Let me say, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just thought of something that I wanted to ask you. How do you want people to react to that news? Like, so people are going to react. I'm not sure how people do react.
you get all different kinds.
Okay, because for me, you're Joelle, and I'm cool. I introduced you to my grandchildren. I mean, nobody's talking like, ooh, ah. What do you want people to know about somebody, like if they've seen you in an episode of Tourette's, or,
I want to be able to stick around if they can after the fireworks happen,
okay,
and still be my friend.
okay.
Or if I have a girlfriend, my girlfriend, I want her to stick around and be around there for me regardless.
Okay. But I think it's what you said, that it's part of who you are, that's made you learn how to overcome situations that you wouldn't have had to do had you not been through this struggle. So it's been a blessing in some ways.
It's a constant companion that
Okay.
makes you a stronger person over time.
Okay, and I like that. I like that. So questions are okay.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding is great.
Yeah.
And to know that you're Joelle, no matter you're Joelle with, you're Joelle without,
Yeah.
you're Joelle.
Yeah.
And you're not ashamed of the struggles that God has allowed you to go through because they've brought you to this place.
It's made me more compassionate about people. People
Okay.
with individuals with disabilities are more compassionate towards others. People that have more average type of life, not trying to point
no.
fingers, but people with disabilities, individuals, boy, girl, younger, older, have a lot more compassion and sympathy for that other person, whether that person has disabilities or not. They have a heart and they go out there and they do things, whether they're Christian or not. Having a disability makes somebody have more caring passion for somebody else and just do it because they want to, not because they can get something out of you.
Amen. Amen. I have to mention, you have a YouTube channel,
Mm-hmm.
The God-Fearing Man with Tourettes Syndrome 94,
Yep.
right? And we're going to be putting some information at the end of this on how you can get in touch with Joelle. And if you have any questions for him, I know he'll be glad to answer them.
I also have a Facebook page,
Okay,
a
and your
public Facebook page called The God-Fearing Man with Tourettes Syndrome.
Okay, is that with 94 or not?
You gotta look for it. It's
Okay.
either 94 or not. I think it's just without the 94.
We will find out and put it at the end of this.
Mhm.
We just thank you all for joining us. We want you to know that if you have a child that has any struggles, any disabilities, you can homeschool them and it'll enrich their life. Joelle will attest to that. If you have any questions, let us know. We appreciate you all listening. And remember, homeschooling is not a sprint, it's a marathon.
I have one more last thing to say.
Hang on,
to the
go.
thing. If you guys ever want to know what to do when you have this whatever disability you're going through and how you can overcome it, pray without ceasing.
Yeah.
Ask God for everything that's possible. It's changed my life for the better. And just pursue life with a positive attitude. It always says to seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open. Ask and it shall be given to you. All those things. Keep your light burning strong and your passion burning strong, and always serve others no matter how bad life is going, and just do God's will. Thank you guys.
That's good advice, whether you have a struggle or you don't have a struggle. That's good advice for everyone to follow. Because without God, you can do nothing.
It's made me the man I am today.
Praise God. Amen. All right. We'll have information at the end of this. We do appreciate it. Remember, homeschooling is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we do it as a family. So go out and enjoy it together. God bless.